We got some interesting information about just how much Xbox and PlayStation pay for deals for their subscription services. All right, guys, before we get into this, my goal is to hit 10K subscribers by the end of the year, and I see a lot of you are new here. If you like daily content, you like these styles of videos, please consider hitting that subscribe button. So one of the things people are always wondering about is how much does Xbox spend in order to get certain games onto Xbox Game Pass? And they have many different deals in terms of how they go out and acquire different titles to come onto the service. Phil Spencer has talked about this previously, where he has said it really depends on the game, essentially. If it's an indie game, maybe they'll pay them for the development and marketing costs to get the game on their day one. If it is a live service game, maybe they'll pay them based on how many people are playing the game, how many downloads the game gets, and all that type of different stuff. So every game, it seems like Xbox, when they do their Game Pass deals, has some sort of different deal going in place before the game actually comes on to the Xbox Game Pass service. In fact, Phil Spencer specifically said this back in 2020 when it came to the question of how they pay developers. He says here, our deals are, I'll say, all over the place. That sounds unmanaged, but it's really based on the developer's need. One of the things that's been cool to see as a developer, usually a smaller to mid-sized developer, might be starting a game and say, hey, we're willing to put this game in Game Pass on our launch day if you guys will give us X dollars. Now, in certain cases, we'll pay for the full production cost of the game, then get all the retail opportunity on top of Game Pass. They can go sell it on PlayStation, on Steam, and on Xbox, and then on Switch. Sometimes the developer's more done with the game, and it's more just a transaction of, hey, we'll put it in Game Pass if you'll pay us this amount of money. Others want agreements, more based on usage and monetization, in whether it's a store monetization that gets created through transactions or usage. We're open to experimenting with many different partners because we don't think we have to figure it out. When we started, we had a model that was all based on usage. Most of the partners said, yeah, we understand that, but we don't believe it. So just give us the money up front. Now, one of the big games coming over to Xbox Game Pass next year is going to be Ark 2, which, as we know, the first Ark game is actually a very popular game, being one of the most popular games on Xbox when it released. Even though it was released on Steam, when it first came out, it was even more popular on the Xbox platform than it was on PC. So the game came out 7 years ago, but there's this article here that states, according to Studio Wildcard co-founder Jesse Rabczak, the daily Xbox One player count is already bigger than on PC. So obviously Ark and Xbox have had a great relationship in terms of a game that comes onto the platform, comes onto Xbox Game Pass as well, is very popular, and people are continuously jumping in and playing. The game is still very popular. Back in June, they reported that they had hit their highest new concurrent peak 7 years after the game had launched. A tweet here from the Ark and Ark 2 product manager says here, new peak on Steam CCU of 205,000 concurrent players. We're blown away by the support and passion of the community. It's both humbling and inspiring. Thank you for making all of us at WC smile as we continue to work on Ark 2. And 7 years into it, it's amazing. You're the best. So all of that to be said, Ark is a popular game, whether you've played it or not. I've never really gotten into the game. I never thought it was as popular as it was after seeing these numbers, but it is. And this is why Xbox went out and they secured Ark 2 coming on to Xbox Game Pass. And we now know the amount of money, or relatively the amount of money, that they have paid for firstly getting Ark onto Xbox Game Pass, and then how much they are going to be paying and keeping Ark 2 when it releases onto Xbox Game Pass. So this comes via an SEC filing. We have a tweet here from Idlesloth, and it says here, FYI, Microsoft paid $2.5 million to keep it on Game Pass for the first half of 2022 and $2.3 million to bring Ark 2 to the service when it releases. And further, it goes on here saying Sony paid $3.5 million to make Ark Survival Evolved a PlayStation Plus game for March. And again, this is via the September SEC filing. So we have some numbers and information here, just how much these games are getting paid in order to put their games onto subscription services, not only Xbox Game Pass, but also PlayStation Plus. And you take a look at this. Game Pass is a subscription service that is a rotating door. They paid $2.5 million to keep it on the service for the first half of 2022, but the game still is currently on Xbox Game Pass, so they could have potentially be paying more right now to keep it there. So that $2.5 million just to get it within the first half may not be the final number that they have paid to keep the game onto the service. And then we go over here to the fine print of this deal right from the SEC filing, and it says here, the company also has a long-term title licensed agreement, Game Pass, with Microsoft for a period of 3 years. The company recognizes deferred revenue and amortizes this revenue according to the terms of the relevant agreement. The agreement was initially made between the parties in November of 2018 and valid through December 31st, 2021. The agreement was subsequently amended in June 2020 to extend Arc 1 Game Pass perpetually effective January 1st, 2022, and to put Arc 2 on Game Pass for 3 years upon release. The company recognized $2.5 million in revenue related to Arc 1 perpetual license for the 6 months ended June 30th, 2022, and deferred $2.3 million related to Arc 2 that is included in the long-term portion of deferred revenue. And in November 2021, the company entered an agreement with Sony Interactive Entertainment to make Arc 1 available on PS4's platform and the PlayStation Plus program for a period of 5 weeks in exchange for $3.5 million. Sony launched the 5-week program on March 1st, 2022, and the company recognized the full amount of revenue from this contract for 6 months ended June 30th, 2022, as the significant performance obligation of making the game available on the platform was met on the first day of the contract. So there's a lot of numbers there. It's hard to really fully understand who is getting the better deal, who is paying more, who's paying less, because again, this isn't the full amount of revenue that Xbox has paid for the Arc series coming onto the platform. Whereas with PlayStation and with Sony, we know it is that $3.5 million coming into PlayStation Plus. The one thing with that is if you didn't download Arc within March from PlayStation Plus, you can't play the game. You won't be able to access it through that membership. But if you did download it, it's actually a game you get to keep for the entirety of your PlayStation Plus membership. In fact, we have this person here who is a senior reporter at Kotaku saying, I see some people interpreting these numbers as totals, but it should be clarified that at least in the case of Game Pass, these are revenues, deferred revenues over specific periods of time, and it's not clear what the overall value of the agreement is. So again, keep that in mind when interpreting these numbers. But at the end of the day, $2.5 million to have Arc 1 on Xbox Game Pass, an extremely popular game for the Xbox platform, is a pretty good deal, I would say, for Xbox. I don't think $2.5 million to them is that much to get a game like that has so many concurrent players, where it is one of those games that are going to have lots of microtransactions that are done through the Xbox store, and they've probably made back that money multiple times from making this deal to get it onto Xbox Game Pass. And then Arc 2, which is, again, a game that we've heard from the Xbox and Bethesda showcase where they announced that it is one of those big day one games coming over to Xbox Game Pass, is going to be on the service we know now for at least 3 years. And that's another one of those games that is going to be something they easily make back with all of the money that people are going to be spending within the game once it's released. And you could say the same thing here from the PlayStation platform side of things. $3.5 million for a game that, if it is as popular as it is on the Xbox platform, they're easily making that money back too. I would say it's a good deal for both of these companies. I don't really think one got a better deal than the other, particularly because it is a game that at the end of the day, if you do get it through the PlayStation Plus membership in that month that is there, you get to keep it forever. Whereas with the Xbox Game Pass subscription service, the reality is it's a revolving door. So at any point, it could leave the service. At least now we know for Arc 2, when that hits the service, you're going to have 3 years at the very least to be able to play it via Xbox Game Pass, which I think is something very important for a game like Arc, to keep it on there for a long period of time. For these live service multiplayer style of games, you have to have those on the service for years, or at least a single year to say the least, so that people have a chance to go in there and spend a lot of time in there, play it, takes up a lot of their time, and then they will go ahead and decide if they want to purchase the game further, if they want to purchase microtransactions and all those types of things. From a developer side of things, that's what they would want when utilizing the subscription services for these live service multiplayer style of games. But those are just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think about this deal for Xbox Game Pass and for PlayStation Plus when it comes to the Arc franchise? Do you think it was a good deal? Do you think Xbox got a better deal? Do you think PlayStation got a better deal? And are you excited to play Arc 2? If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. If you're new here, you liked what you saw, consider hitting that subscribe button. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for your support, and I'll catch you in the next video.